Opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast longest running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Hey, yo, everyone. You are listening to WSTU 1450. I'm Amir Meehan, and I'm here with Mr. Frank Metzapelli.
Yes.
And surprise, everyone, I brought my bestest friend in the world, Anna Julia Calhoun.
Hello. Hello, Anna. So you go to South Fork as well?
Yes.
All right. And tell us about your classes that you're in and what you're doing.
I'm in the 10th grade, and right now, I'm taking all the normal classes. I'm in art because that's what I'm really passionate about. So, I'm going to go into IB just like Amira on the IB track. I love all the clubs that I do, especially Model UN with our lovely president.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
And founder.
Yeah.
Yes.
And which I'm also president of.
Right.
Of course.
I love it. And you're wearing your Youth in Government T-shirt.
Which I'm also president of.
That is so cool. That is so cool
Yeah.
that you've got your own
I got
T-shirt.
another one too. We have pink ones from last year that were a
Pink.
little different.
Okay, so green and pink. All right.
Yeah, they've been.
All
I
right.
don't know. They've been like upping their game with merchandise, but then the thing is, our funding gets down because they spend more money on
Oh,
aesthetics.
so yeah. So they give you a budget, and then you.
But
spend
this
it on
year
stuff.
we have the charter bus again. We went to Tallahassee in a school bus,
Yes.
7-8 hours, and there was a road that was blocked, so it took like 10 hours
Yeah.
on the way to get there in a school bus. I didn't mind because I'm a psychopath, but I'm pretty sure if I were a normal person, it would have been dreadful. Like everyone was suffering.
Right. But you were entertaining yourself and others. along the
Not
way.
others. I didn't talk to anyone.
But
No, 10 hours? Hell no.
Ah.
Also, I was really sick the whole time. So I had
from
like a
the
bad
motion
sore throat.
sickness, or-
No, not motion. I had like a bad sore throat, full on
Ah.
virus. The whole time at state assembly, I was really sick.
Aw.
Yeah, so I didn't want to talk to anyone.
Hmm.
And Nick was sitting next to me.
Oh,
So
that's
this
lovely.
kid, he's the most like this is a really smart autistic friend I told you about. Like he is working for like party and stuff like that, and he has a YouTube channel. He talks about things, and he's a genius, the smartest kid I know. But he talks a lot. Like he
Yeah.
will not stop talking. So yeah, it
So-
was a great 10 hours.
All right. So he entertained you.
No, not
No.
entertained. I
No.
wouldn't say entertained. Maybe for like a few minutes,
All
like a
right.
few moments here and there.
He thought he was entertaining you. Let's
Oh
put it-
yeah, he definitely
Okay,
believed
there
that.
you go.
He
All
was
right.
entertaining himself mostly.
Okay.
It was great. He did bring snacks for everyone, which was nice.
That is
He
very
always
nice.
brings
He
food.
makes stuff. He makes Brazilian treats
Wow.
and stuff. He's a huge philanthropist. Like he'll come
Mm.
every day in history, and he'll
Mm.
have a huge tub full of Hershey's, Lindt, and his own Brazilian chocolates, and everyone just go in the communal, like Hershey chocolate box and just take it from him.
Nice.
And he never eats it for some reason. He
Mm.
says he can't eat food without certain meds or something. He just doesn't eat food unless he's at home.
Wow.
Uh,
All right. All right. So we have some exciting things going on in the world today, mostly with domestic politics. Nationally, the vice president is giving her very first
mhm.
news conference.
With Tim.
Well, not a
Walz.
news. It's an interview, rather not news.
Yeah, it's an interview.
It's an interview, and it's not scripted, but it is recorded, which gives
It's weird.
CNN an opportunity. I'm just
to
saying.
edit
There you go.
to make sure that nothing they don't want to be said is said.
Ums and
Yeah.
ums
Any
get
oopsies,
edited out. Yeah.
Any gaffes,
Mhm.
because we don't want Joe Biden 2.0,
Right.
right? Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But then a lot of feminists are angry about this. Like left-wing feminists are angry about
Right.
this.
Because
Because
Timmy's there.
they're like, yeah, exactly. They're like, well, it's your first time, like as women vice president, whatever. It's your
But-
first interview, and you have to do it with Tim and all that. I'm like, oh my god, that's what they're angry about. That's the one thing they're angry about.
Right.
I-
And it'll be interesting because some of the things they want to talk about, some of the things that the talking heads at the other news organizations wish the questioner would ask would be, Tim was or is the governor of Minnesota, and during the Floyd riots,
Mhm.
and so he watched the cities burn down.
Oh
and,
yeah, and he didn't do anything.
they didn't- and Kamala Harris, I guess she organized a a fund system to
Mhm.
help bail out the people that got arrested for looting and rioting,
I know.
as you do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, it seems like they have some simpatico relationship.
Symbiotico?
Yeah.
Symbiotic, you mean? Symbiotic?
Symbiotic. Yes.
Symbiotic. Symbiotico is pretty. Is that like an Italian symbiotic?
Well, it's either Italian or Spanish, but yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I got a 5 on Spanish exam. That means I don't know any. I don't know a single Spanish word.
It's a good sport.
But it's symbiotic.
No,
Is
I
is
don't
the
know
root
how.
word.
I don't know how to say grass in Spanish. I seriously don't. I wrote essays about climate change in Spanish, and I don't know how to say grass.
All right. Well, you can always Google it.
How do you say grass?
I actually don't know.
See, oh wow, she speaks Spanish, by the way.
All right.
She's
Very good.
She speaks Portuguese too, and German.
I talked to somebody today who's from Brazil,
Mm.
and then he was talking to his coworker that he was with in a foreign language, and I was, what language is this? He goes, oh, Portuguese. I go, oh, okay,
That's cool.
yeah, very
Yeah,
cool.
Speaking of negligence, like embarrassing negligence, did you hear about the person at the the Afghanistan memorial type of thing, and was allegedly pushed by one of Trump administration aide or something like that?
Yes, I've
Yeah.
heard of this story. So
Yeah.
the story was put out by somebody on the Democratic team.
Yeah.
And
She's
however,
not pressing any charges, so that kind of shows that there wasn't a huge issue.
So here's the problem. So whoever floated that story, there's no pictures, there's no audio.
Yeah.
So things get photographed during the attempted assassination of President Trump. How many different camera angles do we have on the shooter,
So many.
the crowd, the president, all these, and that's just from random people.
Mhm.
So something like this happens, and
Someone would record it.
you would think.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's no recording, no other eyewitness, and
she's not pressing charges.
And no one's taking responsibility for saying, well, somebody reported to.
Yeah.
That sort of, no. If you can't put your name behind it, it's not real.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if it's not like digitally recorded, because there's so hard to do something.
So some
and
of
not
that
have
stuff
that
is done just to put you
bad press.
Well, just to change the conversation and take everybody off that message that they were on, so that it changes the conversation.
Something interesting.
It's a political trick, as much as anything else.
Something recently that I heard. So Jordan Peterson?
I've heard of him, yes.
Yeah, the psychologist in Canada.
From Canada.
And then he was with Ben Shapiro.
Yes.
And they talked about, they have this idea, they were talking about this question about how people are born left-wing. Like when you're born, you're inherently left-wing, which I actually kind of believe this. When I was younger, I was left-wing. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Mm-hmm. And most kids my age are left-wing.
Correct.
It's because they haven't exposed themselves to anything to actually change or move anywhere.
Because it all sounds terrific.
It sounds terrific. Not just that, but like left-wing ideologies work out. So when you're a kid, your whole idea of authority and how the world works is very small. It's your own family. It's your own little community, right? And left-wing ideologies work really well in that situation. Like socialism is great for like family dinners and stuff like that. Right? It's just great. And so you don't have to use extra thinking. It's just, it comes naturally in a family setting. This is what we do. And it makes more sense. But then, the world isn't like that. So I'm sure like inherently we would be left wing, but because we create a civilization that goes beyond nature, that's the whole point of evolving beyond what we were born to be or whatever and become something much greater. You got to kind of adjust the thinking, and
Mhm.
you have to broaden the scale, because then there's a bunch of confounding variables. So I feel like the youth and a lot of people my age, they're just left wing, not because of just the media, because for so long I thought it was probably the media, right?
Mhm.
Because the media is full on left wing, and you
Right.
know, most kids, they're always on
They're
YouTube
an
shorts.
extension of the
Yeah,
Democratic
and then
Party,
they
aren't
just
they?
see all these things, right? Or
Right.
they're like Taylor Swift or these celebrities saying stuff, and that's just it. It's
Right.
just surface level.
Right.
You know, they don't have to use their brain. They don't. It's not that they're
No
stupid.
critical thinking.
It's not that they're stupid. They just weren't exposed, and they didn't come to this understanding that the world isn't their own little bubble.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there's a third thing.
Right.
So that was pretty cool.
So what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts, I'm not very well informed, I've got to say. So like I said, I'm definitely an artist, so I I don't get much into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
let me ask you from an artist perspective. So you buy your own paints?
yes, I do.
Okay. So let's say you have a budget of $20 for your art supplies, right? And suddenly you find out the same artist supplies cost you $40, $50. And you ask why? Why is that?
Inflation.
Right, right.
And why inflation?
Well, from my understanding, inflation is usually caused by the overprinting of money.
Why are they doing that?
Correct.
Debt.
Right.
And where the debt? Why is there debt? Because of bad decisions that
Yes.
some people in power make.
Overspending,
So-
China, like
China. Yes.
China.
Yes.
But-
See, you know stuff.
Right. So what I'm getting at is, so if you wanted to get control of your budget, wouldn't it be nice if you had a voice in government and you say, hey, wait a minute. I used to spend $20 for artist supplies. Suddenly it's cost me $40, $45, $50 to buy the same things I bought last week. That's not right. And then what's it going to be next month? And after a while, you won't be able, you have to crush your own stones to make your own paint. So if you had a voice, maybe there's a representative or somebody that says something that rings true to your ear and says,
Or you could just go to eBay and get used paint for a cheaper
Right.
price. Yeah. that could always happen.
but there's somebody in government that you could support that would say, oh, maybe we're going to spend less money and we get more, consumers can get more value for their cash. Right.
Yeah.
And so that would get you politically involved then, right? So that's
Everyone's actually politically involved, whether they like it or not.
correct.
It's just
They
always
just
true.
don't.
Because I didn't, I
Well,
wanted to, I knew as a kid, like 5th grade, whatever, that I was politically involved, like somehow by just living in a civilization,
Mhm.
living in this country. I just wanted to deny it because I was too lazy and I didn't want to care. I was like, this is an old white guys type of thing. I don't care. Nothing against you.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm an old white man now
I mean,
too,
yeah,
Mr. Frank.
At heart,
At heart.
sorry.
At heart, yes, I'm an old white man who listens to Rudy Valley.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love Rudy Valley.
I love Rudy Valley too.
I love this megaphone. When I was a kid,
Mhm.
I made my own megaphone and did Rudy Valley songs. Yeah.
You could sing Rudy Valley?
Well, I knew that back when I was
You could sing?
well, not really well, but
Can you do wait, can you do a Rudy Valley impression? Because I know you do impressions.
No, not that. No.
No?
Nothing. It's been too many years.
You
It's
can
been
only
like,
do James
it's
Stewart.
been
Do
six,
James Stewart again.
maybe after a break.
No.
All right. So all right. So what else you want to talk about before we
Well,
go to
I had a random artist question
okay.
that falls under the philosophy, whatever. So an artist, usually from my understanding as a non-artist, I'm not really like, let's say a painter or anything like that. I'm a more non-traditional one. Everyone's an artist again, just like everyone's involved in politics, everyone's involved in art, but whether they like it or not. But my question is, as an artist, you're supposed to capture something or reflect something that people can relate to, right?
Yeah.
And how do you make something completely isolated? Let's say if you're an artist who's never seen the light of day, who's never walked outside, nothing lived anyone's life, what would art like that look like? What would that person's art be if they never socially interacted with anyone? They've never seen any painting in their life. They just found paint and saw something white and started doing something, right? Or if they've never gone outside, they've never eaten like foods other than maybe animal crackers. That's it. Except the animal crackers don't have animal shapes; they're just circles.
You know, that is a very interesting philosophical question. It actually reminds me a little bit of this one thing that I was learning about the other day. Is that there was this philosophical question. I don't know who posed it. Like I don't remember, but it's pretty much like if there was someone who had never seen color, and they studied everything there was to know about color, and they knew everything about how the human brain worked and how the eyes worked and how color was perceived. If they saw color one day, would they like really be able to understand it, right? If they had never seen it before in their life. So I think that art can only truly be created by experiencing the world. I don't think art can be created in isolation like that, like you're describing. Like if someone had never lived, because art is created from emotion and experience, and I don't think you can really get that from isolation.
Isolation, it's not living, but it's still surviving. You're still breathing. So what do you think that art would really look like? Because something would come out of it if a guy had paint and had a white sterile wall. It would just be a line, or his probably his handprint, just like a caveman.
Most likely, it would be something like caveman. Yeah.
Yeah, like a
It would
handprint.
be what he could observe in this this
A
empty
beginning.
environment.
It's the
Yeah.
beginning of art. He would
Yeah.
just start from the beginning. Okay, that's pretty cool. I got the answer to that question.
All right. So my board is messed up. I finally got the right headphones, and I had you on the wrong hot mic. So
Wait. Was she talking and no one could hear?
they could hear, but it was very faint. But now they can hear more clearly.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes.
For a second, I'm like, what if the microphones are just both off? You know,
No.
great.
I'm watching the VU meter. So
I don't know what that is. Is that the thingy that goes wee you?
right.
Oh,
So
that's why it's called VU.
it's a VU meter, so it shows the voice output. So
Is it called VU because it's an acronym for something, or
Yes.
because it makes that noise when you imagine it in your head?
No, it actually there's probably a specific word for the VU.
I'm gonna go with the sound.
Yeah. And I probably knew that word in 1971, but I can't tell you what it is today.
I don't think it matters today anymore.
I think it's enough that I know it's a VU meter. So there it is. But yeah, so you look at the VU meter, and that translates the vibrations, so I could see that the mics are hot or not, that sort of thing. So kind of like what we were texting this morning about what's going on under our feet.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So the interesting thing is, when there's an earthquake, it vibrates the earth, and we have so many seismographs around the planet, we can measure the density of the earth because different materials vibrate differently. And because of that, they can get a pretty good notion as to what's under our feet, whether it's rock, liquid rock like magma, right?
In this case, in the whole entire ocean.
Could be water. Water has its own vibration, right? So that's how it's like, how do you know there's an ocean? Well, that's how you know, because everything vibrates at a different
We're never
rate.
going to run out of water.
No.
Nope.
Well, and even if we just used our surface ocean water, which is plenty enough,
We can just go down.
we could, we've been desalinating water to make it potable for decades.
Oh yeah, rain. We could do something with rain.
Right. We got rainwater, but you can, you can process ocean water into drinking water. So,
I what I found out the other day is that I know there was a huge digging operation one time during like the Cold War era,
yes.
and we barely went through the crust.
Right.
And I was like, I was freaking out. I always thought we went like at least past the crust.
The Ruskies, I think,
No.
did they
The Ruskies. Oh, that's back then
That's a
him version
euphemism.
for Russian.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Soviet Union. I think it was like how much was it? It was like 7 kilometers or something that they went down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
deepest hole ever dug.
Correct.
That's it.
Yes. And they own and that was near Siberia, I believe.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy that it's like as far as we can get.
Yeah, I know. As we could at the time. I don't know, but we're never gonna dig like that again and have the budget to dig like that again unless there's another war.
Right.
Right.
Just like for no reason.
Yeah, unless there's another war, we like find some resource.
Put you on a better mic. I think mic 5 is a better mic. Try that.
People can still hear her, right?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
but it's just there's a bit of a hum in the background
Yeah.
with the other mic, and you know why there's a hum, don't you? Because it doesn't know all the words. But it's how you hum with music.
Okay. I got maybe 70% of that, but kind of like like those carnival attractions where you hit the hammer and it goes up and down real fast.
Right.
Like that. That's my understanding of that joke.
Okay.
I almost understood it for a second, but then it just escaped me
Yeah,
completely.
Okay. You didn't ring the bell.
No.
It didn't ring.
No, didn't even. It was like
Okay.
halfway there.
All right. That's quite all right. All right. Well, we managed to get through a half hour, and we've got much more to cover when we return. And you have special topics that you want to cover.
I never plan any of this.
But you and your special guest, Anna, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for the listeners,
Yeah.
we are always prepared.
Yes, there it is. There it is. Okay. And we'll be right back, so stick with us. All right. You want to bring us back? Say, welcome back to WSTU 1450.
Welcome back.
Wait a minute. There it is. Do it now.
Welcome back to WSTU 1450.
Hey, well done. That's a rite of passage that everybody gets to do when they come in the studio. Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
I didn't know we did that.
Well, we did that book because you've mostly been flying solo all
Oh,
these-
yeah,
Yes.
Like Batman.
Yes.
Well, actually, you've been with me, so it's not really solo.
Well, but on that side of the table.
Okay.
Right. There you go.
You're like the most opposite of Batman ever.
Really? No, I'm so
Yeah.
Batman. I am
You're-
rich. I'm alone, and I like to wear
You're not
dark
dark
clothes.
and brooding though.
Oh, here-
That's like Batman's whole thing.
All right. This is
Yeah,
one. Of, this
He's
is probably
supposed
one of
to
my.
be a vigilante disguise. This is all front.
Mm.
This is your favorite?
Yeah.
So good.
So it's there was a Rudy Valley spin-off where they used his style for what is can I dismiss?
Rudy Valley re-recorded his older songs
It's
in the
called
50s.
Winchester Cathedral.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
That
did
was the
that in like the
60s.
50s
Mhm.
or whatever, and it's so good. Like he changed it up a bit. The only version I prefer for the original out of that compilation was Vianney Vanny. Do you know that song?
Yeah, it's in here. Yeah.
I love Vianney Vanny. I sent you that one too. You were like, Amira, what the hell?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Is that the one in Italian?
No, yeah. That's the one. That's the one in Italian. Half of it's in Italian.
Mm-hmm.
It's so lit. I
Yeah.
love that one. I drive to school listening to that.
Of course you do.
Literally, I
surprised.
speed on like Canner Highway. Put that
I am
song
so
on.
not surprised.
Yeah, but
All right. Yeah, there's just a bunch of, cool shorts in here. But
and I listen to a bunch of Brazilian music, so then there's a lot of accordion.
yeah. I
love the accordion.
I have the accordion here in the studio.
What? You haven't brought out the accordion?
No.
You could play the accordion?
I used to when I was your
Why
age.
did you drop it? Bro, you have the perfect you literally could be hired to be a James Stewart impersonator at this point. With the voice and then the accordion?
So
What are you doing here?
oh my God. So I was taking accordion lessons for many years, like 6 years, right? Long time. And especially in the kid's life, right? 6 years is forever, right?
Yeah.
So and the instructor said it was private instruction at home. So he would, leave his normal work-a-day job and then come to the house, and then we'd go in the other room, and I would practice. Yeah, I would play the accordion. He'd had to teach me some new stuff to do. And this went on for, like I said, for many years. And finally one day he said to me, he says, Frank, I have no doubt that you'll be successful whatever it is that you do, but it won't be because of the accordion.
So you were that bad?
Yes.
6 years? Why did you stick with it for 6 years if you were so bad? You liked it?
Well, I kind of liked it. My folks kind of wanted me to.
Accordion? Okay, I know.
It's a cultural thing.
And it's a cultural thing with piano.
Yes.
For Asians.
Yes.
What or violin? Why accordion?
I don't know. It was back in the
piano. I would think it would be piano, wouldn't it?
No.
Accordion? That was the hottest instrument
for folks in the Latin
Midwest?
world. Yeah, from Italian,
Not the mandolino?
Mandolin, you don't see that play. That wasn't played that often.
Oh,
No.
so accordion?
Accordion, yeah.
Why not singing? Opera.
Yeah, no.
Imagine you being an opera singer.
Right. Yeah. So that's not happening. Anyways, but yeah, I still know how to do the pa stuff. I'll bring
what? Bro, bring it. You have to bring it.
Yeah. All right.
You shouldn't have mentioned that because now I'm never going to shut up about it.
Well, we'll do it one day.
Thank God.
All right. All right. So this was on the Ed Sullivan Show. He did this song. We'll
oh my God, he lived long enough to be on the Ed Sullivan Show.
What do you?
Oh yeah. So there's a commercial, but yeah. So we'll spend just a couple seconds on that, and then we'll.
Well, no. What I want to get on with is that I told you the last time you were on the show, I got packs of sacks of mail stacking up all the time. They want you to sing one song, and you continuously evade the issue.
The whiff and poop song.
The whiff and poop song.
Are you sure they're stacks?
They really are stacked.
Well, in deference to both of those letters, I think I ought to tell the audience something about how the whiff and poop started, at least on the air, at least, not as it began at Yale. About 14 years ago, I pulled out of a college songbook a song that had always intrigued me when I'd heard it sung up on the campus in New Haven by a group of young fellows who call themselves the Whiffenpoops. The word Whiffenpoop has no special meaning as far as I know. It connotes a group of fellows who stand around a sundial in the spring and early fall evenings to sing songs, while the rest of the student body is usually studying for examinations or at least cramming for something. They sing a lot of songs, but this is their own song, full of tradition and nostalgia for old Eli's. It stemmed originally from a poem by Kipling. During the war, the Army Air Corps had its own version, the play and picture Winged Victory. May I sing for our audience, with Ray Block's assistance, my little version of the Whiff and Poop song?
I tell you what we'll do. We'll create, Alex Leftwich will create the Yale Bowl for you, the Sundial, and New Haven, and we'll send you there directly.
I'll see you in the bowl, Ed.
All right. Let's have a nice hand before he even sings this song.
Do you want to hear this?
Yes.
A couple of bars.
To the tables down at Maury's, to the place where Louis dwells, to the dear old temple bar we love so well.
All right. Okay, so that's Rudy Valley.
What year was this? What year
Well,
is
the Ed
that?
Sullivan Show is black and white, so it would have been early 60s.
He didn't age a day.
Yeah.
He looks the same. I was freaking out. I'm like, wait, Ed Sullivan, I thought he was a 60s guy. Well, I was like wondering, I'm like, did he do the show earlier? I had no idea.
Yeah.
He looks the same.
Wait,
Yeah.
how old is he in this video?
Dude, he's probably 60 years old.
Wait,
Like
seriously?
late 50s. Yeah, I know.
Probably 50s.
crazy.
Yeah.
Late
Yeah.
50s. It's freaky. You know who else
Oh
didn't
no,
age?
actually this goes back way back.
50s?
Well, no, this was 49.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, there's no way it was 60.
49. So it's
Yeah.
February 13th.
Wow,
it
so
was
Ed
recorded.
Oh my
Sullivan
gosh,
was
that's my
doing-
birthday. That's kind of crazy.
Oh,
I
that's-
didn't
that's
realize
pretty
that Sullivan went that far
40s.
back.
Yeah, I didn't know he had his show in the 40s.
That predates me.
I know, that's wild. I thought he started like in the 50s.
That's what I thought.
I had
too.
no idea.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Right.
And then when I think about it, I think about like him introducing the Fab Four, and I'm like, yeah, that guy looks old. So maybe.
There it is.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, and Ed Sullivan didn't change that much either. I mean, he's a little more articulate.
I think it.
By the time he got towards the
yeah.
end of the 60s, he was
Oh no.
oof, it was a little rough.
Done.
It was-
It was bad. yeah.
And now, really big shoe. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, he he often forgot the names of the guests, and he would just kind of wave his arm,
I'd be like,
Give a-
presenting.
give a really big hand for our next guest.
Yeah.
You had no idea.
Great. Do the James Stewart now. You have to do
No,
the James Stewart
no,
again.
no.
You did Ed Sullivan. Just do James Stewart now.
No, another time. So,
Oh my God.
all right. So, what do we got before our next break? We got another 10 minutes before our
Another
next
10
break.
minutes. Say something random.
Something random. Let's pull up something.
Say something, Anna. Say something.
Say something.
Say something random.
Something random.
Mhm.
Let me think. I don't know.
Maybe
Amira-
if
Amira, do you want to tell us more about the music you like? I know you love ranting about.
Okay,
that.
we'll talk about. So this, I'm because this the show is kind of like trying to keep it on the theme of where the show is, right?
okay.
So multiple buildings have fallen to Venezuelan gangs in Colorado. Have you seen the videos on this?
The gangs in Colorado.
There are these, yes, there are gangs that are taking
No.
over public housing buildings.
Okay, wait. Are we talking about mafia? Are we talking about mobs of crazies?
So these are gangs like MS-13 people from South America that come up here,
Okay.
right? They're the Venezuelan gangs.
And why are they taking over? What are they doing with the public housing?
Who knows? But whatever they want. So they got everybody in fear. So these people that live in these buildings,
Have they hurt anyone?
All I know is what came out in the news today.
Oh my God.
So but this has been going on for a while. That it finally has bubbled up to make the national news.
Bubbled up to make. I hate how you have to get into like the worst extremity possible to get into national news.
Right.
And then no one knows about it until
Right.
then.
Well, and that's the thing, when we were kids growing up, there were a lot of things going on. Some things good, some things bad. But because, news and information didn't travel like it does today, a lot of stuff never went reported.
Yeah, I know, but we have no excuse
And
not
if
to
it
report
does-
anything. And
Right,
if it doesn't get
exactly.
reported now, it's intentional.
Correct.
That's why it's so freaky.
Hmm.
So freaky. But yeah,
Right.
that's wild.
Yeah. So Venezuelan gang. So this is a story written in Town Hall by Katie Pavlich, who is an excellent writer. Terrifying footage out of Aurora, Colorado, a suburb of Denver, shows a horde of illegal aliens and members of Venezuelan gangs patrolling an apartment complex with a rifle. A video captured a doorbell camera shows the men attempting to get into an apartment. Aurora is not a sanctuary city. Denver, however, is a longtime sanctuary city. So, yeah.
So what would they just don't want to pay rent and they want to sleep?
So whatever they do, so they get into these buildings and they probably break into apartments and steal stuff, right?
Mhm.
Whatever.
Why don't they just stay? Oh, Venezuela. Why don't they just go to another country?
Well, go back to Venezuela and
Yeah.
do something good with the country for a change. There's
Or
a
work
thought,
for the bad people. I mean, you're stealing stuff. Why practice on us? Keep it in Venezuela.
because generally people that people that pick on people that can't defend themselves are people that are weak people in the first place.
Oh, little cowards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
I know we're a country where cowards are no longer afraid. It's just
right. So yeah.
Ugh.
So there's some of this. You see this guy with a looks like a hunting rifle. It's got a sight scope on it, and he's walking through
Jesus.
a hall.
Where do they get these guns from?
Who knows? Well,
Hunting rifle with a scope. I understand if you got like a little M4.
Probably you can.
But I mean, did any of these people like what were they? Where they get all this stuff from, and how did they not get stopped by anyone? Are they law enforcement, National Guard?
Well,
Where are they?
Well,
FBI? Where are they?
Yeah.
They report it. But
yeah.
they're just gonna take photos and leave.
Yeah. So those people are still there unless the government shows up. The authorities.
But we know
local
the
police.
government.
Right. You know what Ronald Reagan
Yeah,
said?
I was just thought of that. I literally just thought of that. We have the same brain, so it's not even funny.
So tell our listeners what Ronald Reagan
Ronald Reagan said like the most terrifying thing anyone could ever say to you. He could knock on your door and be like, "Hello, I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
Yeah.
Most terrifying.
Those words you never want to hear.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. So anyways, so yeah, so that's something that's unfortunate.
Have you seen Yes Minister?
No.
If you love all this political satire stuff, watch this British sitcom from the 70s, Yes Minister. It is so good.
Really?
You will love it. It's so funny.
Right.
And then there's Yes Prime Minister.
Was it like
this
on PBS or something? Or
I don't know where I know you can get it on Daily Motion, free website. You just go like Yes Minister season 1 episode 1 and you should probably find it. It might be on Tubi. I know it's on BritBox. But spoiled rich kid, I have every streaming service.
Of course, as you do.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's Daily Motion. If you want free movies, Tubi is good. Pluto TV is good. Pluto TV also has free cable. And then Daily Motion's a good website. And there's another Russian website that I know, but I don't feel comfortable sharing the information on radio.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I love Russians. I mean, if they give me movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see what CNN's got to say about what's going on in the world today. I always find it interesting what they
CNN. I don't know. It feels like a Twilight Zone every time I'm on CNN.
So here's an interesting thing now, because the on the run up to this particular conversation that she's having, this interview, radio stations have been playing montages of all her. In fact, there's a Trump ad that plays a split screen. I haven't seen it, but this apparently is playing in all the swing states. And it's a split screen. And on one side, she's talking about
Coconut tree?
left-wing values, things that she's supporting. And then on the other screen, she says just the opposite. So so it's like, okay, what's your real position?
Have you seen that ad where it's like anywhere the wind blows with that one guy on like this kite surfing thing? That little ad where it's like, oh, he does this, then he does that. And then they say the name of the politician, anywhere the wind blows.
Yeah.
I love that ad.
It's powerful. So anyways, there was this whole thing. And so she is quoted in CNN saying, "My values have not changed on policy." But
everything changes all the time.
But she says, okay, first she said, well, there is no problem at the border. She was the border czar. Now she says, I'm not the border czar. I never was the border czar. Well, she was.
The border czar?
Yes, she was dubbed to be the czar. So what?
Czar?
Yes, to give her specific authority over the border to.
Yeah, I know, but why czar? Why use that term?
because it's
I don't like call it border boss.
right. Well, I don't
Border
know.
boss bish.
Yeah.
I said bish.
Yeah.
SH.
Yes. So, anyways,
Someone's calling.
yeah, that is probably. All right, here we go. All right, you're on the air, caller. Whoops, there you go.
All right.
You're on the air.
So-
There you go.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, yeah, Kamala actually said, well, I haven't been to, the guy was questioning her and he
Right.
said, well, you're the border czar. You haven't been to the borders. She said, well, I haven't been to Europe either.
Right. It's like,
And they've been playing that
oh,
video.
right. Right.
And
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So she's, well, I don't get, and she went on to say, I don't get your point. And so the point was, it's like, well, yeah, if you don't get the point, then you really don't get,
he doesn't get any
no,
points. Right?
I mean, ooh,
God forgive us.
Right.
We don't want to put her. Tim Walsh, have you guys talked about the fact that
oh,
he
tampon
loves
Tim?
communist China?
Right.
He really does. And
Well,
that's okay.
Yeah.
But we don't want him to be vice president.
Right.
You can think what you want in America.
Absolutely.
Some people think men can have babies. We
Yeah.
can create a baby, but I don't think we can have a baby. That's what
No.
that's
Yeah.
what the ladies are for.
There you
Right,
go.
Amira?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She's got common sense, right?
Yes, that's right. She gets it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to get off.
All right, bud.
And God bless us. Let's not vote for Kamala, only because of the Chinese thing.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Goodbye.
Thanks, buddy. All right. Yeah.
You know, someone I know, I don't know, I just thought of this right now. It's pretty wild. It's about
Hmm.
9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Someone I know, their grandpa has this crazy theory that he noticed that the owner, who's Jewish, of the Twin Towers wasn't there during the attack, and most of the Jewish employees weren't there either. And so
What day was the attack? Do you remember?
9/11.
I know what day of the week,
I have no idea. I just know it's 9/11.
because
Yeah, I
If it
said
was
that
a
maybe.
Friday,
Yeah, I said that maybe there was like Jewish holiday thing, or
Correct.
like Friday they went to temple or whatever.
right, exactly.
yeah,
Right?
it could've been
I don't
Friday.
know. Let
Well, it
me
was a
check.
morning though.
It was, a
in the
morning.
morning.
But maybe the Jews are like, oh, I have to go to temple, so they all slept in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
maybe. Yeah.
Let me see. 9/11 happened. Someone say something while I'm doing this.
What
Happy.
day? What day?
What day
Right.
of the week?
I don't know.
AI is telling me it's Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday.
Wait, there are a couple of Jewish holidays on Tuesday, but not in September, right? Not in 11.
I do
Probably
not
11.
know.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
All
No.
right.
So I don't know. The guy just left it at that. It's like, notice that the Jews weren't there.
Well, as a lot of people
That's
say,
such
I mean,
a
but
stretch.
a lot of people
I
could
know.
have been there. You know,
Yeah,
and if
exactly.
you
That's what
just
the guy
focus
said
on one
something
group,
weird. I just never heard that before.
Mhm.
That's why I was like,
Right.
what?
You know, like I'm sure a lot of people miss work every day, and there was a lot of people working there. I feel
Mhm.
like if you want to focus on one thing, you can.
Yeah, like you'll find something. You'll be like, oh,
Like, it
I
maybe-
noticed
maybe,
that all
like-
the Arabs weren't there either.
Maybe like it could have been like a lot of Jews work in that tower, and then a lot of them were missing, but also most of them were there.
right,
Yeah.
right,
You can use whatever data to prove your point that you want.
correct.
Or maybe one of the Jew guys are like, yo, I'm having a barbecue in the morning. And of course, he's going to invite all the other Jews. So they're not going to be at the Twin Towers.
Exactly. There could have been like some sort of community event. Like, we
Yeah.
don't know.
Exactly. It's just too much. There's such lack of information. I think everyone just
Yeah.
wants to find a way to become anti-Semitist for no reason.
I think a lot of people just like grasping at straws. You
Not
know?
that, but everyone has this huge beef with Jews and success every single time.
Hmm.
All the time, everywhere. I remember a more local incident happened, I think last year, a year before, at private schools. It was like a football game or something like college football. And there was a Christian kid and a Jew kid, and they had a little altercation. And it was an anti-Semitist thing. The Christian said anti-Semitist things, and the Jew kind of either they went into a little fight or whatever. But it was so wild because it was clear that the Christian kid instigated the whole thing. He started the physical fight too,
Right.
but they kept blaming the Jew kid. And it was just
He was the victim.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
Right.
because he was a bit more aggressive in his defense.
Well,
But I mean, he was defending, but then they're
Right.
like, "Oh, the Jews and success," every single time. Like they always, and
Right.
you know, the older I get and the more I think about things, Hitler definitely he scapegoated the Jews. I mean, I sometimes think he all along wanted to just see people suffer. Because if he wanted to really exterminate the Jews, he wouldn't have made concentration camps. It's too much money, too much management. And all the Jews don't die at once in the concentration camp. They're working and stuff like that. If he wanted to exterminate Jews, it would be like, okay, I want my Nazi boys to walk around Berlin, walk around Dresden, Munich, whatever, shoot any Jew on sight. That's it. That's how you exterminate Jews. You don't put them in a concentration camp. You put them in the ghettos, and you put them in these trucks, and you put them in the camp, and you put them in a furnace, and you put them in a gas chamber. That's so fancy. All of that's too elaborate to be effective in what he wanted to do. So much of his military spending and stuff, instead of invading other countries and stuff and making the, expanding Lebensraum, he had to waste money on making the extermination of Jews with more finesse. That's why I feel like dude was a psycho all along. He just wanted, and so he was like, okay, well, everyone here is German. Let's pick a minority. Okay, Jews. And they're all successful. That means a lot of the working class people have a reason to spite them. They just don't know to spite them for that reason yet. Let me tell them. Let me write books. Let me make up a history. Let's get these people to really start looking at the three tiny things that will make them start hating someone. And boom, that's it. That was Hitler's genius.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like happening right now with Palestine, whatever, and Israel. And then a lot of times I think a lot of people who are ignorant will jump straight into Palestine side. It's because Israel's a more successful country. They're more well off. Jews are more well off. So then they start seeing it as a minority versus majority type of thing. And they start seeing disadvantage versus advantage instead of looking at the truth. And then it's just like my tribe against your tribe. It goes all the way back to the caveman, Neanderthal, ignorance thinking. And that's really what's going on. It's so annoying.
All right. We're going to take a regulation timeout. We missed our timeout, so we're going to take a real quick one, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes, so stick with us. All right, we're back. We got just a few minutes before closing comments. So,
Okay, Ite fam, we back. So, Anna would like to talk about the political significance of fashion because she has the arts perspective that she brings onto the table.
All right.
So,
all right. Take it away, Anna.
Well, I think I was learning about this the other day because I was reading this book on the history of Dior, and I thought it was so fascinating.
So during World War II, right, obviously there were fabric rations. So dresses, like the skirts, were more tailored to use less fabric. Usually they were a little bit shorter.
Again, to use less fabric.
Yeah, less fabric, right?
Mhm.
And then we get to 1947 with Christian Dior's first collection, the New Look collection, which is like one of the biggest, greatest, in my opinion, like one of the greatest ever fashion collections in history. But in his New Look collection, he had these very, very long full skirts, right? So a lot of people were very angry about this. There were like riots. People tried to rip the dresses off these models, all because of how much fabric that he was using for these dresses. It was actually considered wasteful to a lot of people.
Ripping the dresses is even more wasteful.
I don't exactly know people like why, but
keep going.
yeah, people, and throughout history, if you look at fashion, you can really use it to like gauge like where the economy was at the time, and like where values were at the time. Because like for example, in the 20s, again, like you have very like intricate scandalous clothing.
For me,
very
they're scandalous.
very intricate beadwork and things like that because of the economic boom. So they have like lots
Women's
of gold
rights.
and silver, and the hemlines go up because
we
there's
have
like
to get ready to say goodbye in a few
Thanks
seconds.
for listening to the fashion spiel.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
it was very good. I wish we had more time, but we have to leave in about 10 seconds. So
Adios,
Okay.
peeps.
all right, we'll be back next
Bye.
week. Thanks for listening.